Live from inside Porsche, Colorado Springs, it's the First Dibs podcast with our hosts, John Deisty and Justin Underwood. Buckle up and let's go for a ride.
We're back.
That's awesome.
Did you like that? That's our German techno a cappella. Throwback to probably, call it 2004.
Okay.
The Homestar Runner website. It was this flash animation of these just cool characters that this guy came up with. That was Strong Bad. He got an email that said, "Hey, Strong Bad, do you like techno?" And he said, "Yeah." One time I heard a techno song and it went like this. And then he came up with that.
So welcome back to the First Dibs podcast from inside Porsche, Colorado Springs. I'm Justin.
I'm John, and we got Ted.
That's right. We got Ted on the show today.
You might have heard him giggle on episode 2.
Right.
But he just was in Germany. So
Yes.
the intro song was for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. Thanks for joining us,
Yeah.
Ted.
So I
Thanks
was
for
on
joining
the
us.
second episode, right?
Well, I think that's
Right.
what it was.
Yeah, what you heard me say is, Ted, do you want to be on the episode? And I said no.
Yeah.
So I'm excited
Yeah.
to be back.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. That's
Thanks
awesome.
for coming.
Good.
This is really good. So first, if you haven't listened to our show, we are for the First Dibs podcast live from inside Porsche, Colorado Springs. We like to sit around the dealership after hours and work extra, put in some extra effort, and tell people about new cars.
That's right.
New stuff that showed up. So I have a question for you about the white Cabriolet 99 2.2 that's sitting outside.
Yes.
Is that a sold car?
No.
Oh,
All right.
It's available.
So we got a white
another
cab that is available. So that's
Yes.
pretty cool. We'll get you details on that next week.
yeah.
Other than that, we just took in 2022 911 Turbo S
21.
21, even better.
21.
Better buy, right?
15,000 miles.
Carbon roof, carbon mirrors,
Right.
GT silver,
Yes.
extra body. The air intakes painted in GT silver, black and Bordeaux interior.
Yes.
Chalk, or I think it's chalk, or maybe GT silver stitching.
GT silver.
It's a beautiful car.
That was a great car.
I would take that one.
Yeah.
We also took in an Aston Martin DBX.
Better hurry.
Yeah, buy it tomorrow, or it's going to Aston Martin. But yeah, it's a beautiful car.
It is. No, it's super cool.
It's the first one I've been in. Cayenne size SUV, AMG 4-liter V8, 500 or 600-ish horsepower, something like that. Cool seats, bunch of different drive modes. The infotainment system feels very Mercedes, so I don't think it's as outdated as when Aston was doing the Volvo stuff. So that all felt pretty quick and snappy. Great sound to it. Comes with an umbrella.
Is it in the door?
No, it's in the trunk.
Yeah.
But it does come with it.
I had
That's fancy. It's in the trunk?
Yeah.
Like your spare tire?
Well, I asked Justin if I could have it. He said no.
Yeah, I had 3 people. That's the first. Can I have the umbrella? No. Shut up.
None of the other 3 were plants either. Yeah. But
right.
really cool. Matte black.
It's got
yeah.
some crazy looking wheels on it.
Great looking wheels. Black in like a bronze two-tone. Yeah. That thing's fun.
Yeah.
So buy it tomorrow for me. It has a broken windshield. You're going to have to get that fixed yourself.
Yeah.
All right. And then
Oh, we got a Spyder RS.
Spyder RS
Yeah.
in, I think, my favorite of the colors for them, vanadium gray.
Vanadium. Why do I always want to say like Vesuvius? That's what I always
That's
think
another
of, like,
color. That's the bumpers on the Taycan Cross Turismos.
Really? Mm-hmm. I wasn't just like.
No, you just didn't
just-
totally.
Okay.
Yep.
That's the trim on the,
Yeah, the
back
trim.
of the seats. It's Vesuvius gray.
It's
An
the
18-way seats, that's the plastic. They call it.
and I think the bumper trim on the Cross Turismo Taycans with the off-road design package. I think you can get
Cool.
Vesuvius.
Yeah. No, but the vanadium is cool. Ceramic
Really
brakes.
good color. Really, really good color.
Yeah.
Comfy seats.
Yeah, 18 ways.
Yeah. That's a lot of
pretty
comfort.
sweet.
That is a lot of comfort right there.
That's a nice car. What else come in?
I think that handles.
Oh, you didn't want to mention the M5 competition.
Yeah, M5 competition.
Yeah, that's a pretty sweet
22.
car.
That's a sweet car.
That's one you should buy fast as well. Like tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the last BMW we had lasted a whole 36 minutes.
Have you seen a white X5 that we have on the lot?
That's not the last one we had. That was the third to last ago. Which is, that's crazy to me. That the X5 is such value.
Heck yeah.
It's like 41 grand for a 30-some thousand mile 2021
No, it's
turbocharged 6-cylinder. What word was that?
I don't know, but I'm with you.
I think it was cylinder. Nice big SUV. Like that thing shouldn't be here anymore. So,
Yep, I agree.
yeah. Yep. All right.
Oh, I got some business.
Oh, more business. Good.
I mean, so it's the end of the year, and things that we'll see come out from Porsche are things on, like what are we looking at next year? Some changes to things.
Okay.
To be in the used car guy, CPO, certified pre-owned stuff.
Yeah.
And so they changed. We have a new CPO like guidelines, and it's huge. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like how long it's not just 3 pages long, right? There's more to it. But this one, as I was reading through some of the new changes, I thought these were kind of funny, so I highlighted what I find is kind of comical. And these have to do with exclusions, like reasons for exclusions of your CPO warranty.
So why my thing wouldn't be covered, or why? Okay.
Yes.
Why we couldn't CPO the car.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Okay.
And this one is external effects, right? So things on the outside of the car, right, that wouldn't be covered for due reasons. As a result of misappropriation, in particular theft, unauthorized use, robbery, or embezzlement.
Embezzlement.
What does that have to do with warranty? Anyway, if you're embezzling, Porsche doesn't have to cover the warranty on your car. And then as a result of the effects of natural events such as explosion. So but it's in writing. And so what this okay, let me get through the rest of these.
So this is no cars that are imported from Russia.
Right.
That's
so
what
right
or Ukraine.
you're ahead of me.
It feels like a pager
that's
thing.
the- that's
like
the-
the Israeli pagers, you probably don't want to get in on.
Can't CPO
Right?
the pagers.
Right? There's cell phone chips in the cars.
You're skipping ahead. So the next one is
We need those signs that we can hold on our heads to try to guess what's going on.
so the next one is as a result of war-related events of any kind,
Oh, no.
including civil war. So okay, that
Whoa,
was the
too
next
soon. Too soon. Give us another 3 weeks before you start talking about that. God. It's too
All
soon.
right, hang on, I'm almost done.
Okay.
As a result of nuclear power.
What is
What?
So if you're running a 1.21 gigawatt nuclear reactor in the
Yeah.
back of your Taycan and it doesn't do the time jump for you, we're not
They don't
responsible.
have to cover it.
Are you sure that's not an
And
April
then-
Fool's joke?
No, this is legit. And then
They're German.
and everyone
they don't joke.
and everyone has seen these photos on Instagram or Facebook or something, right? But caused by any kind of animals, example, gnawing damage.
Ah.
Like when dogs chew on their owner's fender because you lock them in your garage or whatever.
Or when mice eat your wires.
All right, hang on. Okay, we're here.
I thought he was the giggle
these
factory.
these are reasons.
Tonight it's Ted.
These are reasons for exclusions 2 of 2. And this is the only. So I like this one because what Porsche points out, it's the first sentence of racing. Participation in driving events where speed is of the essence is not excluded.
Oh, good.
This also applies to associated practice drives. However, what's another word for however?
But
But Damage to the insured components caused by participating in driving events and associated practice drives is not insured. So they're saying it's absolutely acceptable to go to race day, to go to track day.
Yeah.
But if something breaks while you're there, we're not responsible for that. I mean, okay, that's fine. But
That's good.
yeah, it is good. So what I think, what kind of caught my attention was, I think these are kind of funny, and it related back to when I was a student at school in Arizona. I had a friend that got a job at Circle K. Okay, and at that period, this is in 1999, right? So he was probably making $6 an hour, $5.50 an hour, $6 an hour, something like that. He had to sit through an orientation video in a back room of Circle K when he got the job. And this video was about 40 minutes long of describing the dangers, or I shouldn't say the dangers, the hazards, potential hazards of working at Circle K.
That's just a gas station, right?
It's a gas station.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it was the same thing 20 years
Yeah.
later. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So he proceeds to like go through some of the examples that they give. I mean, there's robbery, right?
Yeah.
And there's violent, because violence, fights, because people rob
Yeah.
stores,
Yeah,
community
because they
stores.
got a lot of money
In movies, yeah.
at the gas station.
They talk about like sexual abuse,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, they go through all of this stuff. They
Did
don't
you ever
just-
see Clerks?
Yes, they don't just make that up. Like the reason that it's in the video is because it happens, right?
Yeah.
Like it really happens. So
Embezzlement.
the reason
Back
that
to
they
embezzlement.
exclude pieces of war are things of, like as a result of nuclear power, that means that's probably happened somewhere and someone tried to claim warranty. And Porsche,
Yeah.
we
Yeah. No, you shouldn't be running on
we should
plutonium.
Clarification on that.
yeah, we
though.
should exclude
Like
that.
something like you're parked next to a nuclear power
Yeah,
plant, and
yeah.
therefore your
Yeah.
icon doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
or can I
oh.
not receive my power from nuclear? Does it have to be solar, wind, or coal?
800
Oh.
volts is not enough on a Taycan.
Yeah.
I need faster charging. Do you live on 3 Mile Island? You have
Yeah.
no coverage. I just thought, anyway, I mean, they
That's
come
good
up with these
That's
for
good
a reason.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they're-
So-
yeah.
Anyway,
I'll check that out.
that's my. Don't get rid of that. I
No,
actually
I'm
need
not.
the
Yeah,
third
no,
page of
that's
that
right.
for
Yeah.
real, but-
Do you see where it says don't talk about this?
Oh,
Internal use only.
Yeah.
Well, no one watches this show.
I know.
So it's,
This is for our own consumption.
yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
To say we did it.
Oh, I think I didn't mean to. Sorry.
What? All's good. All right. So I think that handles most of our business. Ted, do you have any cars you want to talk about that are coming in, or things you want to chat about on the new car front before we get to your fantastic trip?
Macans are for sale.
Okay.
We've got some great deals on Macans. We've got great deals on Cayennes. Anything in stock, we want them to go to a nice home.
Yeah.
So we're getting near the end of the year. I think we're getting near a record for the dealership. So
No.
the closer we
That's
get,
good.
the
Yeah.
more exciting it'll be to buy
Yeah.
a car from us. So
I need to sell 22 cars to meet my goal.
I also need you to sell 22 cars
So,
to meet my
yeah.
goal.
So call Nancy, ask for me. 719-219-5044. On that note, please come to our Macan EV launch event.
Yes.
It's next Thursday on the 7th. I will unfortunately not be here because no one consulted me when they were planning the date, but that's okay.
Sorry.
Yep, it's okay. I
need to apologize.
Yep. But super excited. We rented out a really cool venue in downtown Colorado Springs called Kawadi. It's a weird marsupial animal from that lives in South America. I think is it a primate or a marsupial? It's got like a pointy nose.
It's like a raccoon.
Yeah, but it's not. I think it has a pouch. I think it rears its babies in a pouch. But anyway, yeah, we'll be doing that on the 7th. So come check out that. I think we'll probably have some other cars there, and it's going to be a soiree. So
Cocktail party.
wear
Should
your
be lots of fun.
flip-flops and tennis whites.
Sure.
Electric garden party is the theme.
Yes.
I'm sad to miss the only electric garden party I've ever been invited to.
Chihuly.
Yeah.
Chihuly.
Yeah. That's the glass. That's the blowing glass. Chihuli's going to be there blowing glass
I've
for
worked
you.
pretty hard planning it. It should be a really.
Ted's great at planning events, so
Oh, heck
I'm
yeah.
sure it's really going to be awesome. And I am honestly bummed I know everything I say on here is BS, but this is a true statement. I'm bummed to be missing it. So, anyway, on that note,
I will be there.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll be there. Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You want to share your story?
Sure.
Okay. You
So-
gotta,
My phone turned off.
yeah, no, that's
so
okay.
We gotta re-up it.
So the reason we had such a rockin' October is that Ted was in Germany for half of it. So this is this is what he was doing.
Oh my gosh. So Ted, can you give us a backstory? Like, why did you go to Germany?
So Porsche has an introduction to Porsche is what the program's called. So it's meant for new dealer owners, new general managers that haven't been immersed into Porsche. So with new salespeople, they have a Porsche brand ambassador training where you do a lot of online training to learn the history, and then we send you to the experience center or send you to the different centers around the country to learn about the Porsche brand, right? Who our customers are, and who the history of Porsche. Well, this is the same thing, just in real life.
Okay.
So this is meant for new guys. It's taken me 19 years. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah,
I made a new dealer from Arizona, and hi, my name's Ted. How long have you been with the dealership?
Right.
And he was been there for 1 month.
1 month.
1 month. And so, and then he said, "Well, what's wrong with you?" I said, "Well,
What's wrong
19,
with you?
19 years it's taken me to get here." So that was a fun
Yeah.
experience. So,
Right.
But so we
Broken again.
we got to do all the same things that a customer would get to do. So European delivery, we got to tour the factory, tour the museum. We went to both Stuttgart and to Leipzig. In Leipzig, there's a racetrack, so we got to drive on the racetrack. Really exciting. We got to drive all the new cars. So I got to spend 6 hours in GT3, Turbo S, Spyder RS, GT4 RS, and we got to drive in the Autobahn, drive through the Black Forest. They paired us up, and my partner said he didn't want to drive.
Right.
So I said, "Fine, give me the keys. Get in. Here, hold my phone." And so I got to drive double, which was awesome.
Okay.
But it was just, it was a great experience.
And you were in Leipzig when the new GT3 was being unveiled.
I was on my way to Stuttgart.
Oh,
so
okay.
I was in Frankfurt, and so we all met in Frankfurt, and then we drove. Frankfurt's maybe 3 hours from Stuttgart, so we got to drive from Frankfurt to Stuttgart. But in the Porsche way, it took us 6 hours. We got to
Right.
turn off the road and find
That's
a windy
awesome.
road. So it was great.
That's very cool.
Mhm.
Okay, we can see, like, because we're in our awesome studio right now, like, we can see what's coming up next.
Yeah.
But this isn't, no one else in the YouTube world can see this just yet.
Okay.
So when you tell me when you're ready, because for people listening, this is why I gotta watch right on YouTube. But for people listening, is Ted takes awesome photography and with his iPhone, because iPhones do a great job with photography. But Ted's got a great eye for it, and he's very
Thank you.
generous to share the photos with us. And so John and I have a little bit of insight to some of them that we've seen before. But anyway, we're going to display them for the world. Keep in mind, Ted, the Germans that you were just with, they watch this too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. This is a fun meeting or a conversation that we're having where we start with the rules. It's almost like you guys knew who was going to be here. I do watch your show.
Yeah.
I lurk in the background. Only
Excellent.
once, and that's because I was probably deprived on sleep. Did I comment when I was in Germany?
Hey,
But,
that's right. Let's pull up and
yeah.
see who's.
But you guys do a great job. So
Thanks.
the Germans talking about following the rules. These guys, they take it to another level, but in a very good way. So in our sales meeting tomorrow, actually, that's what we're going to talk about is sort of the culture of the German people. And man, I loved it. I just embraced all of it. The whole time, every time they would say, this is what time you need to be here. I'm like,
Yeah.
get on them. Get on those Americans, lazy. Not following the rules. Don't know the syllabus.
Oh, right,
don't have the
right.
itinerary. I'm like, I
Yep.
printed it, and they're like, oh, you printed it. I'm like, yes, I could be one of you. Like, well, We appreciate your opinion.
Right.
No, but we appreciate that you have an
Right.
itinerary.
What's
Yeah,
the word? Ordnung?
Ordnung.
Ordnung.
Yeah, Ordnung is the, and it's even more than that. So that Ordnung is yeah, it's respect. It's if you're supposed to be there at 9, Joe Brenner, our GM, you know, it's with the Germans, it's not 15 minutes early is actually not what you're supposed to do.
Right.
You're supposed to be here at 9. We want you to be here at 9.
Right.
And so, and if you show up early, you can feel it. They're like, "What do you go away?
Yeah.
It's not your turn yet," you know, because they want to give you their full attention. So, I mean, I think we talk about that a lot. Being present. You know, we talk about, you know, John, what is your superpower? It's to be present.
Yeah, I'm here.
In the moment.
Yeah,
You're
it's,
here.
it's simpler
You're
than
in the
that. I'm
moment.
just physically in the
show up.
building.
I showed up.
Yeah.
I showed up. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're in the moment.
Thank you. I'll take that. Yeah.
And I think they're the same way. So you know, I think everything that they do. I guess my impression of what the people at the factory were going to be. You know, I guess if you go into the shop and these guys, I mean, they're working hard, and you want to tell stories. You know, it's slowing these guys down, and they know that every minute you slow them down, it's another moment the customer doesn't have their car back. So you know, there's this anxiety that you get when you go in the shop because these guys are trying to get it done. Well, in the factory, I was expecting the same, but I've never seen so many technicians smile. You know, and the teamwork between, and it's really similar to the dealership. You know, the tour guide. So when we were in Leipzig, she had been with Porsche for 22 years. And she kind of gave a roll call, and it was her first tour with a bunch of, so this was dealers from the United States, this was dealers from Poland, dealers from Mexico, so it was very international. And a lot of these guys we've met before through trainings. We've all kind of grown up. We all started in sales, and you know, it kind of worked our way through management. So you know, we were talking about the pictures. You know, iPhone, you can go look at your photos and when you were young and skinny, and all my hair was not gray. And well, growing up in the Porsche world for the last 19 years, we've all turned gray. We've all gotten fat. We've all gotten old, you know, but we're still enthusiastic, and we're still giddy. We still giggle when we drive the cars. And so it's fun to see these guys every 2 or 3 years, you know, and you know, they saw my kids grow up, right? So I have kids in college now, and they knew me before I had kids, you know, and so it's, and we've all gotten wiser. We've all learned that, you know, staying out all night hurts the next day. So, you know, so it was a different crowd.
For multiple days.
No, John, we still did.
I know. I just have learning to do.
Yeah, that's wisdom. That's wisdom. Yeah. So, but getting back to the factory. So, you know, the tour guides, I kind of akin to salespeople. You know, they're telling the story. That's what we do. We tell the story of Porsche, tell the story of, you know, this version of the car, that version of the car. And they're so enthusiastic about the brand, you know, and then you see, you know, the guys that are building the cars, putting the cars together. So those are our technicians, you know, and there's a term, well, I have to come up with a word tomorrow, but it's another German term that you do it right the first time, it's perfect, and then you do it better. So I kind of will sit in that for a minute. Do it right, do it fast, do it perfect, and then do it better. But that's how they feel, you know. And then there's even parts guys too. So there's guys running parts and robots running parts. You know, they have just-in-time delivery, so it's a process to be very efficient to build a car. And so to watch all these different teams work together, and it's interesting because they all have different uniforms. All the tour guides have one polo, and all the guys building the cars, they have a different polo. The parts runners have a different. But every time I saw them pass each other, it wasn't my team versus your team. There was a fist bump, or there was a high five, or there was I mean, it was very similar to this dealership, right? Everybody cares that it's right. Everybody's trying their best. Everybody has the right, you know, attitude towards the customer. And it was just, I mean, but like times 10. So talk about drink the Kool-Aid.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Very good.
Starfleet,
That's right.
right?
More. Man, it was, I mean, this is.
It's a lot more.
John, you'll like to hear, you've not been to Germany?
No.
How long have you been here?
not long enough to go to Germany.
Well,
A little over 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
All right, so 12 in 12 years.
12 years.
If you can get there
Yeah.
in 12 years,
Yeah.
you've done better than me.
Okay.
That's
well,
your
there you
goal.
go. Mhm.
But no, I think everybody. I mean, there's the Experience Center. Porsche does a great job with training, so we
Well,
get
their
to go to a
trainings
lot
are
of-
amazing. Yeah, I mean, they treat us like, I think if one of our clients came, they would treat us the same. We're put up at Four Seasons resorts. We're put at the Ritz-Carlton. The whole thing is about not just how great our cars are, but it's that whole golden rule: treat people the way you want to be treated. So treat us the way we should be treating our clients, and it works.
Well, the Porsche Club, they said it's not the cars, it's the people. I mean, I really think that's the same thing with. I mean, the cars. It's nice that our cars are awesome. I mean, it's nice that we don't have to apologize for the quality of our cars and the performance of our cars. So I mean, I think there's a level, right? We talk about in our meetings. It's the minimum standard, right? At the minimum, we're a premier dealer, right? At the minimum, the cars are fantastic. At the minimum, we do the training that's necessary. But I think that's what's expected. But what makes us special? Because there are other dealers, right? I mean, there are other dealers.
There's other great dealers
that do a great job.
Yeah.
But I think our people, right? They don't have, they don't have Holly and Parts that decorated the showroom for Halloween because, we wanted to have a trunk or treat.
Right.
I mean, we have our Latex or our Porsche Pros, right? They bring their kids to see the cars decorated with, for Halloween. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think our people really separate us from the rest of the dealers. So, and I think it was kind of neat. So I gush a little bit, right? So I wear a Porsche shirt, right? It says Porsche Colorado Springs. I'm proud of our team. I wear our colors, right? Joe does a great job for the hill climb. We get the
The jackets. Man, those are great.
well, when I went to the factory, or not to the factory, to the museum, that day, I'm proud of us, right? So I wore our hill climb jacket, and man, I was like, I had to take it off. I honestly, halfway through, I'm like, that's too much.
Yes.
Because the people that would stop me, oh, you're from Colorado Springs, man. Hey, I've seen you guys. I've heard you guys. You're yahoos that do the YouTube videos. Yep, that's us, right? So I mean, I was so proud, of what our team does. That I didn't take it off, but it was nice to bathe in that, and it was nice to be, a part of, something special. So.
Yeah, I think it's important, and that's why I wanted to do something like this, is because I felt like the dealership was already awesome, and I wanted to be able to put my own little extra effort into doing something different. And I think that's what a lot of the talent here does. Jason in the service department, all week he's been helping somebody run their new Pikes Peak hill climb car, as another just extra effort. And that's what everybody here seems to do. So it's a fun culture to be a part of. And I think you're right. The brand inspires something, and then the dealership inspires something, and hopefully like we as people also inspire something too,
Right.
just to, because it's fun, right?
Makes it fun,
I don't do this because
Mm-hmm.
it's work. I'm here because this is awesome. And we're here sitting around goofing off, giggling in an awesome showroom with cars that nobody else gets to play with. And it inspires more. So anyway,
Good.
thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get to your pictures before we all start to cry.
I heard an endorsement that the First Dibs podcast logo is going to go on the next hill climb jacket.
No shit.
That's what he just said.
Why not?
I heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
We're already on the model. Did you see that?
So other than the other than the boner comments,
Boner pills?
the boner
Yeah.
commercial,
Boner
that
pills,
was
boner
before-
pills, boner
we
pills.
don't
That was
sponsor.
before the show.
No, it was like episode 10 or 11 ago.
Oh, that was way more
Yeah,
than that.
it was
that
after
was like
we
a
got
year
the letter
ago.
from Porsche that says, "Hey, who are those knuckleheads?" We go, I don't
It was
know.
actually, it was
I don't know
when
who those
he
guys
went to
are.
Germany because he couldn't play that episode.
Yeah, that
It's
was a
what-
good episode to take to your
Yes.
classic round.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
I had to tell them about it, and they did. Well,
They think you're hilarious.
Yeah.
So no, the
Well, they're right.
Yeah, no, and we also, John, think you're
Yeah,
hilarious.
well, thanks. That's what this is about, right? This
All
is
right.
not car content.
You ready
we
for
should,
some
yeah,
photos?
let's move on.
Okay. Well, we started in Frankfurt, and again, we stayed in all the same hotels. So if you do a European delivery, you can pick the car up at the factory, either Stuttgart or in Leipzig. They put you up in a nice hotel. So the hotels that we stayed at were the same hotels, that the customer would stay in. And so, the architecture is just, it's something out of a fairy book. So,
Can we just put the pictures up and Ted in the small window and get rid of us?
Let's do it.
I just think then people can actually see it.
Yeah.
let me actually, sorry about this.
Nope.
Last time Ted's on the show.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, I think that's better.
Want to do that?
Yeah, that's good. And we'll keep talking.
Yeah.
That way people can see more.
So in Frankfurt, the history of Frankfurt is, World War II is heavy. It's still heavy over there. I met some guys at 19, 22 years old, and I was gushing about the history that I saw.
Yeah.
And they really know their history. But Frankfurt has become sort of the Wall Street, the Manhattan of Germany. So, but just so beautiful. All the architecture. So, of course you got to have beer. So that's us. First night. This is the first morning. The weather is very similar to Colorado. It was 60 degrees. We had some fog. You can't see the top of that building, and so that was our first day of driving. So I was pretty excited because that it'll challenge the cars. So nothing like having a GT3 RS or a GT4 RS. There's a video.
Ooh, look at that. Let's let that play a little bit.
Oh,
how about that?
Yeah.
301 kilometers an hour.
Right.
So that's 187.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Are we allowed to? We can make fun of other car manufacturers.
Anybody, yeah.
All right. I could have gone much faster.
Do you know the rules about this show? There are none.
I'm just asking permission. Yeah. All right. If it wasn't for all the BMWs on the road, I could have gone much, much faster. So they put us on the Autobahn. We were allowed to, it's unlimited speed in certain areas.
Yep.
And so the instructor or the lead driver, he would tell us, okay, here comes the unlimited 3, 2, you go underneath the underpass, and it's a huge sign that it says it's unlimited. Kind of like a start sign, kind of like a rolling start.
Right.
We were already going 90 miles an hour, and then you drive underneath the sign, and 5 cars. So the car in our group, there's a couple of cars. So we had a Turbo S GT3, we had a GT. There's a GT3 RS on the right. There's another one on the left. GT4 RS. So John. All your customers could I get one? Can I get one?
Yeah.
Well, no, that's where they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Actually,
They're running tours in Germany.
Well, so commercial for going. So you can do a European delivery, drive your car there, right? Or you could just go over there and you can rent one from Porsche. So you can just go rent, a Turbo S and drive it for a week. Use their insurance, their tires. And then just give the car back. And
but you can only do that if you order a car from John.
Right. Call Nancy.
Yeah. 719-219-5044. Or you don't even have to order it. You could buy a Macan from me next week. Well, next week. I'll be in Orlando.
It can be a used car too.
It
right?
could be any transaction with John, and you can do just what Ted did.
So we're kidding, but we're not.
Yeah.
In order. So you can go get a factory tour. So you get a tour of the factory, if we give you access.
Right.
So if John, I'd like to go to the tour. John can reach out to the factory, and we can so we can give them an insider. So in the customer. Yeah. So even if you buy an off-brand used car.
Yeah, we don't care.
But we just tell them. So.
Yep.
So anyway, so it was fun to drive the cars. If it wasn't for all the BMWs, I could have broke the record. But and so on that note, what's more exciting than going 190 miles an hour on the Autobahn when it's cold and rainy and foggy and no traction? BMW getting in your way, going 80 miles an hour when I'm going 180. And I'm not saying I'm standing on my brakes, but I got pretty excited in the cars. So it was a GT3 that I went, I was like 190, maybe 180 to like 80 in like nothing, right? So it's kind of like driving from here to Denver.
Good.
So the car was man, it was great. Because I think without it, it would have been a
Different story.
So,
Ugly.
but- so lots of fun cars, and and look at all the autumn leaves, right? And you blow through the leaves in the Black Forest, and
That's cool.
Yeah, and I thought that I'm like, well, I told one of the guys, I go, none of this is real, because the Germans are very,
Right.
very fastidious, right? So I'm sure they planted all these leaves for us to drive through. But so there's a picture of us rolling into the factory, so you can see the monument there.
The Porsche Platz.
Porsche Platz. So, here's a fact about the factory, or tidbit about the factory. There's a public street that goes right through the middle of it. Anywhere else in the world, if there's a factory, it's acres of fences, and then you got to go through this security checkpoint, and then you get to no, or you could just drive straight through.
Just drive through it.
Yeah, and it's because the factory was built, in the 40s, right, 30s or 40s. And so, as the city grew up, right, the factory had to sort of adapt, and so the public road's still there.
Was the original building there when you were there? Because I've heard they're tearing it down.
It's nice that you would say that. No, actually, they let's see if we can find it. No, the original building's still there. It's actually so they built the paint shop, right, which is a standalone building.
Yep.
So we know the story. The paint shop. When the body's done, then it goes through the tunnel over the street, and then it goes into the other side of the factory where it's assembled. Well, between those two buildings is the brick building that we see, like in your office, the picture. So that original building's still there. That's actually the parts receiving center. So that's the parts department. So it's right in the middle. So if I can see if I can find a video. John, you want to tell a joke, and I'll play with my phone.
I think that's
Ready,
good enough.
John? Go.
I don't. We didn't prepare this.
Yeah, well, that's what you did to me.
Jeez,
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Really?
If you ever come on this show, they don't give you. They say, "Here's some whiskey. We're going on in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you want another tequila?" So there wasn't. Hey, this is what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
So
You haven't opened your tequila yet.
Well,
so get on it.
The reply
There you
is
go.
normally
There you go.
yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all
Yeah.
right.
To be fair, most of the time we don't ask for a slideshow with
That's
for the guest.
okay.
So
Well, so
you're-
there's a
This is
picture-
advanced.
Yes, right.
Oh man. So so the monument. You can see the monument right at the bottom of it. Underneath that, you can see the brick building with the windows. That's the original building.
That's so wild.
So yeah, on the left, that tall building. I think that's there's office buildings, and I think on the right is the body shop. But I mean, it's so accessible. It's just it's even if you go there and you don't have John's permission to get a tour. I mean, you could just. It's just right there.
John's
So
permission.
yeah,
We're a big deal.
we are a big deal.
We would have
That's
been
a real thing.
John
No, you
Dice-
really
we-
yeah.
We
John
would have
Dice
been
is
canceled
here.
a long time ago.
Or you could buy a car and then
Right.
they'll give you a tour. So so we drove from Frankfurt through the Black Forest. We talked about that in Stuttgart. They gave us a tour of the museum and tour of the factory. There's lots of YouTube videos on how the cars are produced. It doesn't do it justice.
What I thought was awesome is you talked about the tunnel that connects the paint shop to the main factory, and last weekend you were telling us about it and how the tunnel itself has like the privacy electrochromatic glass,
Right.
That
Kind of like the Taycan.
like the
sunroof.
Taycan roof,
Right,
exactly.
right,
so
right.
if your car is running through, you could look up there and you could see it like walking across and then going through and into the next building. But they flick a switch.
When stuff because the public, just like the Nürburgring, right? I mean, that's a job. You sit on the corner and then you take a photo or video of the prototype and then you put it on car scoops, right? Well, it's probably the same thing. Guys sit on the corner and wait for something to go through the tunnel.
Yeah.
So what they've done, is they block off the tunnel so you can't see it.
I just think that's awesome.
When I was there, the entire time the tunnel was blocked off.
Yeah.
One of the guys, and they said it to me. Nobody told me not to say it. So the prototype Cayman, it's being produced right now.
Yeah.
And in that factory in Stuttgart.
That's pretty amazing.
So and I think also that probably the GT3. So it was just introduced. But I think like we didn't get to see the paint booth. Because they said there's too many things there that you Americans would just blab on a YouTube video, so they wouldn't let us in.
All 12 people would know.
So here, I want to. So they let us park because this is normal, right? If you buy a car from Porsche Colorado Springs, and they let us park right in front of the building.
Yeah.
So as we roll in all these cool cars, they just said, here, park here, and they kind of blocked it off. And as we kind of roll in there, then everybody that's inside the museum, it was funny. They all pour out, oh, what's going on? What's going on? And they run into me and they go, you're not famous. I go, I'm not famous. Oh, well, who's in the other car? I go, all right, thanks, see you later. But, so there's that video. So more cool cars. After the first night, we dropped the cars off at the museum. They put us in a bus, and so they wouldn't let us go through the museum. And I was a little disappointed, except where they took us to a hotel that was built by Porsche Design. So how about that? I got to sleep in Porsche sheets,
man.
And I got to take a shower and dry off with Porsche towels. And it was it was just like, Justin, if you were to sleep in your office.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess it wasn't that fancy. One of the days we got to go see the Porsche Classic restoration, and that was in itself something very unique. And we've kind of known about that. We know that you can send a car to Atlanta and a classic car, and they can restore it. You can bring a car here, and we can do some of that, and then beyond that, then we send it to Atlanta. If you want to go a step further, we can FedEx your car, literally. We can FedEx your car to Germany, and then they could make it new again.
Right.
What's crazy to me about that is, they just really announced that to the world at the Quail this year. They unveiled a 993 Speedster.
You're talking about the complete one-off.
Yeah,
program.
exactly. But that's through Porsche.
No, that's different.
Through Porsche Classic, though. That's the same thing Ortrun and Christian just did.
Yeah,
is like a recommissioning of the car.
Yeah, it's more than, but
well, so there's two different divisions, I suppose.
Okay,
and it's you can restore a car to what it was when it was new.
Okay.
Actually, the same. They did have a Carrera GT that was silver with Ascot interior, like all of them.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
so the guy had taken his car there, and he says, "No, I want it, paint a sample, and I want to change the interior." So they did that there. If you're talking one off, like I want to build a Cayenne pickup truck, that's through the CXX or Sonderwunsch program. That's in Stuttgart, so that's available too. Very similar programs. So if you want to take your classic Porsche and make it brand new, you have to do a consultation fee. So we learned, the consultation fee is $100,000.
Yeah. I'm getting robbed.
Talk.
I'm telling you.
MJLPO, buddy.
No, we're going to change the program to talk to Justin.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Justin, you're not.
I'm not.
You're not Stuttgart.
Look, I'm not Stuttgart.
So $75,000.
Yeah.
I like it.
And I, every time they would give us a comment, I like the rules. I follow the rules, and I may not understand it, so I need to ask questions. I'm not going to disagree with the rules. So I go, so I'm sure some of that money goes towards the build. And then they said, that's a good comment. No. Next question. So it's $100,000 to talk to them. Then they give you an estimate on what it would take to put the car back together. And then 6 years. 6 years is the current waiting. Six or 7 years is the current waiting list for your car to be touched.
Right.
So slightly longer than it takes for us to restore a car.
Yeah.
So, but the good news, like they had a Carrera GT. Actually, it was from America. It had some water damage. I think it was in a flood. So he sent his GT back, and I think this must have been 5 years ago because they're starting to work on it. So he paid the $100,000. He gave them their car. They didn't charge him for storage for 6 years, which I thought was big of them.
That's a big deal.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, that is something,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
but when they're done with it, so this GT, you know, their estimate was $1.5 million. However, when the car's done, it'll be instantly worth $3 million.
Man.
And it's touched by all the Porsche folks in the Porsche way. So I mean, it really, I mean, it is a lot of money, but you know, if it's the love
It
of your
can
life,
be worth
right?
it.
It is. Well, the guy doubled his money.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and you don't have to send a car like that there. I mean, you could send your 79 SC there that is never going to be worth more than $50,000, but you can spend $500,000, you know, making it, because if it's of sentimental value, I mean, if it means if it's worth it to you,
Yeah.
you can do it, right? And they'll gladly
Totally.
help.
Well, they had one car there that so we have is it a 930 that's behind the shop
Yes.
that
Yeah, that's a good one.
that was some building
Right.
fell on top of it. And,
Yep.
and it's
Yep.
so they had a Hulk of a maybe it was a 901, and it was like there was nothing. It was there was like half the body was there. It was all eaten out. It was just it looks like something that needs to be like on a wall, right? And the guy says, "Oh, actually, that one's in pretty good shape." I said, "Are you're saying if I can just bring you like a piece of a car, you can build the rest of
Yeah.
it?"
Bring me the
So,
VIN plate.
Right.
and
Yeah.
we'll-
yeah, they can do it. So, so that was neat. So, so we saw, the Classic Center, and then we went to Sonnevanch, and Special Wishes, and we got to see all. I mean, nothing like 300 paint-to-sample cars.
Oh, man.
In one
Yeah.
building, right? So that was pretty neat. So we got to see that process and
So,
talk about that.
for people that don't know what the process is, it's basically they build the car down the normal production line, and then it goes into a booth, and somebody makes it into what you actually wanted it to be, or how does that all
Yeah,
work?
so you're talking about the process.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
So, you know, when you go through the configurator and build out your car, the number one Special Wishes is paint to sample, followed by the special CXX Special Wishes program. So you can, I guess one of the extreme examples is, you know, maybe there's a rancher in Montana, and he has a cattle ranch, and he would like to use the leather from his ranch to outfit his car, and so that's possible through the Special Wishes program. You know, they talk about, well, how do we do it, and you know, how
Do you send them a whole cow, or do you prepare the leather
Like
stateside?
alive.
And
12 cows,
well, at least.
12
But I just mean,
cows.
12 cows, and they've got to be.
and do you send them
Perfect.
as calves, or do you send them
you can.
fully grown?
You can this
I
is
expect you to
Betsy, and
raise
that's
these.
Yeah.
Shamu. No, yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever you want, John. Yeah, $100,000 consultation fee.
Good enough. Just so I can ask that one question.
I mean, seriously though, that's pretty cool. Like if you have a,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're the Dutton Ranch, right, and you want your brand in the
Yeah.
headrest instead
So-
of the Weissach logo.
And it doesn't need to be as crazy as
Yeah.
that. I mean, it could be as simple as you know, we have one client that doesn't like race decks. You know, God
Yeah.
bless him, that's his choice. And so, but he really likes GT cars. So that's kind of a problem.
Yeah, right.
Because GT cars love you
Yeah.
know the race decks. So
it's not flammable like cows.
race
Are
decks?
cows
Yeah.
flammable?
Cows are flammable.
If you try hard enough. If you eat, actually, have you gone to John's house for a barbecue?
Yeah.
They're flat.
That's what I'm saying. Right? Have you ever cooked a steak?
We're going off.
Uh-huh.
So you can if you want, you know, I want this GT3 RS, but I don't want leather. Or I'm sorry,
You
I don't
do
want
want-
race
yeah,
decks.
yeah.
So I want the dash and whatever. So that would be the Special Wishes program. Or I mean, there's so many different things that you can do. Special branding, right? So if you want the, you know, you can do the Porsche crest, you know, in the headrest. That's a, you know, that's an option that you can do from the factory. Well, what if you want your company's logo? So we talked about that. How does that work? So, you know, they have to make, you know, they make the mold that presses the leather. So, you know, the good news is, you know, once you make the mold and they press your leather, then they'll just keep that press. And so on your next car, they'll just have
$5 less.
$5.
yeah, well, no, it's like I want to say $8,000. No, I might be wrong, but it's some amount of money that. But no, yeah, it and they do offer. We did talk about What if we wanted to do a Colorado Springs special one-off? You know, and so you know there is a process that you have to go through, and you know, and if they do offer volume discounts, so that's nice to know.
Well, I think you know the 000 magazine guys. They're friends of the dealership, if not friends of ours. But they do some cool stuff with the 000 Spyders that they did, and then the new Pikes Peak Tribute Turbo S that you know must be. I mean, it's through the Sonderwunsch and the CXX option stuff. And I guess they're getting maybe it's if you sell 12, you get one free. How cool would that be?
Yeah,
let's see if we can sell 24 First Dibs edition. What do you want to sell? I'm good with the new Carrera T.
We gotta.
We'll do the Carrera T
gotta do
next
that
week.
next week,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is too important, too fun. Back to Germany.
Okay, so we went to the Special Wishes, right, and then from there, you know, they went to Leipzig, and I
You
whenever
guys got all the way out to Leipzig?
yeah, they flew us, they from Stuttgart. It's only like an hour and a half,
Okay.
and so we got an airplane.
Germany's that big?
Germany's so that's the thing. Like Germany is the size of Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the size of if you were to take Colorado and maybe half of Montana. So it's slightly bigger than Colorado, but you can, you know,
They just have slow planes.
Well,
That's all. That's what.
I don't know.
Well, an hour and a half, and
Well, maybe it wasn't an hour and a half.
all right, that's
don't
better.
know.
All right, I'll take
I
that.
don't know.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. It wasn't.
It was
I
very,
wasn't
it was
flying.
a it
I wasn't-
was a quick flight.
Yeah, I didn't.
We'll just go with
They didn't
that.
ask
Quick
me
flight.
how to get there.
Yeah.
But
So that's cool.
yeah, Leipzig is it's fantastic.
So Leipzig is the newer factory where
It's the big funnel.
Yeah, Panameras, Macans, Taycans are all built there,
Pair your
right?
The Taycan is actually in Stuttgart. The Macan Gas, Macan Electric,
Okay.
and yeah, and
Panamera's got to be
yeah,
right.
maybe it was
Yeah.
a Panamera,
Yeah.
right? It was a Panamera.
Yep.
So the difference between are my pictures working?
We got to get your
No.
phone up again.
Speaking of, Roxxon. Just kidding.
So the difference between Leipzig and Stuttgart is when Porsche decided to move their factory there, one of the tour guides that we spent some time with, you know,
Oh, it's wrong again.
the unemployment rate in Leipzig was like 25% unemployment rate, and so when Porsche said, "Hey, we're going to go to Leipzig," you know, because of the people, you know, there's people that can work there, and also there's lots of land. So I mean, it's sort of an example of what's going on.
Nothing. Technical difficulties.
I fixed it. Well, that was a East German city, right? So
right.
it was, you know, it's like getting out of Russia.
The buildings are very you know, Cold War era, but beautiful. I mean, it was it wasn't stark. It wasn't all gray.
Not anymore.
No, I mean the stuff
I don't
there.
know. I was never
well,
there.
in the
I
U.S.,
wasn't there
right?
during the
Our
war.
history is like a couple hundred years old, right? I mean, their history is like thousands of years. Like, we stayed in a hotel right across the street from St. Thomas. That's where Bach. That's where he was a music instructor. And so, I mean, I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah,
So
that's like
kinda
600 years ago.
Cool.
That's a long time.
That was still a lot.
That's more than us.
So, yeah.
That's more than us. Yeah.
So, but so Leipzig, anyways, when they moved there, they were like 25% unemployment, and then Porsche moved their factory there, and then the factory outgrew capacity, and so they added on and they added on, and then DHL moved their headquarters there, and then Amazon for Europe moved their headquarters there. And so, you know, the people were so. I mean, whenever we would go anywhere, they would say, "Oh, we're from Porsche." You could just see how excited they were that we were there. You know, and then we say we're from America. They go, "Oh, well, all right, you can still come, still come in." But the factory, where in Stuttgart everything, you know, it was space constraint. So you know, they say I think maybe it's 6 floors tall. They have, because they don't have room to go out, they go down. So it's also, they have a basement that's 6 floors down. Where in Leipzig, man, they got land.
Sprawling. It's like here.
Oh, it was.
Just keep moving.
Yeah, well, no, it was amazing how much, the assembly line, how long it was. We went through like there's a T-shaped building, and so as we got to the T, you look right, and it was like being on top of a building and you have like vertigo, except for it was lengthwise.
Wow.
It was so amazing how far down the assembly line went. And then I tapped the shoulder of the guy. I'm like, yeah, but look behind you. And we also saw, where they're going to build the new vehicles. So they're already expanding, and there's a whole nother factory that they're building on for the next series of cars that are being built. But that to be said, there's only 9 robots in the entire factory.
In Leipzig?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's
They're very busy robots.
Well, they never stop, I'm sure, right?
Well, there's 3. They just started a third shift, so there's a graveyard shift, right? So they didn't used to have that. So so that is kind of true. But the to watch the guys working together with the robots, there's always this idea that robots are going to take over. No, I mean the artistry to put these cars together. To watch the guys that are stitching the leather or making sure that the leather is pure, that there's no, bug bites in the leather, right? Or all the pieces and parts. I mean, just to watch, it was overwhelming.
So that's a really interesting comment, I think.
The bug bites?
The bug bites and the artistry.
Yeah.
Last night, I was driving home from my in-laws' house. My wife had gotten a ride to their house, so it was all of us in the car, and my daughter was having a shit fit. And she just couldn't calm down. She was hopped up on, Skittles and Mountain Dew and Rice Krispie treats, and she was coming down on her crash, and she really wanted to go to McDonald's, and we weren't going to go to McDonald's. So I said, "Hey Siri, play Claire de Lune."
Oh.
Don't do and she did, and I'm listening to it and I'm like, this is awful. And it was a well done but totally computer generated version of Claire de Lune that I think Apple probably produced so they didn't have to pay an artist.
Really?
And then I went and I took my phone out at a stoplight and I played the version I wanted to hear, and it had emotion and it had time and it had character, and it was completely different, and I felt at ease. The computer generated one was perfect, but it was awful, and I would never want to hear it again. And the point of the difference between a robot building a car and a person, just taking that little time, and maybe a stitch is off by a millimeter or something, or maybe it's just handmade. There is something to that adds value to me rather than something that is truly perfect. I want it to be real, and I want it to be made by a person.
Well, when you look inside of a new 911, the stitching that you see, none of that's done by a robot. That's done by a person.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, it's a person that is doing that job because their parents had done that job and their parents before them had done that job. And to see that kind of, I mean, every one of them has the same story. I'm here because my father was here. I mean, it's just, it's a different culture. It's nice to be, we don't build the cars, right? And the culture here at the dealership, I push that. Listen, you didn't build the car, so don't act like your name's not Porsche. So treat the customer with respect, right? We're all enthusiasts, so let's act that way. But I feel we do represent the brand.
Yeah.
From the engineers that design the car to the story of Porsche, right? So, Dr. Porsche, he was working, couldn't find the perfect car, so he built his own car, right? More than that, his son, wants to race cars, but doesn't have the money because, it's really expensive to race cars. And so what did he do? He went out and got sponsorships, right? So, and so just the lineage, I guess, is what I'm saying. When you watch the history, the father took it as far as he could, and then the son had some great ideas. And because they worked together, the father says, well, here's some wisdom, and then the son took it, and then then the grandson took it, and now it's.
And then the crazy uncle did some really sweet stuff.
Right.
Is that the
Ferdinand Piech. Yeah.
The Piech?
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
the Piech was the
Volkswagen.
That was the first. That was the mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ferdinand, man, that guy.
Ferdinand Piech. Was that the 917?
I don't know if he did 917, but he did like Audi Quattro and VR6 and a bunch of that stuff. And he's direct descendant of the whole Porsche lineage too. So yeah.
And they're still around, right? I mean, it's still a family-owned corporation, and you can feel the pride. Everybody's very excited about being a part of the brand, just like we are here. So that was inspiring. So.
I think when you think about how far this brand stretches, it's impressive how few people are actually involved.
Oh,
right. We're not. It's not a mom and pop company by any means, but it's not some super ginormous multinational conglomerate.
No,
either,
it's not Mercedes or BMW.
Yeah,
Although a lot of times when you see the dealership in the United States, we're next to a Mercedes.
Yeah.
And car culture, the United States. It sort of gets into the world, but no. What is it? It's literally Porsche aims to be 1%. Someday we'll sell 1% of the new cars sold, and it's been said, and we're okay with that.
Yeah.
So where Mercedes is like what 20% or 18%.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, but if you've been to Germany, all the Mercedes, they're all the taxis.
Right.
All taxis are
Right.
the E-Class Mercedes, right? And all the jerks drive BMWs. So, but the Porsche, it's so. I mean, this dealership
In Germany.
in Germany.
Oh, we forgot to say the views expressed on this podcast are not directly
in
affiliated with the dealership of Porsche Colorado Springs. Everything is our own opinion.
And so the size of the company side, I've mentioned this many times when people go to Porsche Cars North America. You'll realize how small of a company it is.
Yeah.
And because everyone there works on one floor.
Yeah,
right?
it's one building.
A fairly small building. But I think
It's the Avengers headquarters
They
before they got the Tony Stark tower.
so, but the company, they believe in efficiency.
Yeah.
Whereas in like a company like IBM, how many redundant people do they have within their company? They don't even know who works for them anymore, right? Because they don't run efficiently.
Right.
The views expressed on this podcast are no way.
I love
that
IBM.
John is the one that's telling us to watch our word track.
Hey, I've got a lot of IBM clients. We're over time, so let's power through a few more. We can have Ted back on in a couple weeks if you want to come back. We'd love to have you.
Yeah.
But let's hit. You got a cool Boxster concept car right there.
This is the concept.
Yeah.
So the museum, so it was to see the prototype Boxster was kind of cool. So there's a photo of it.
Super cool.
With the exhaust coming out of the back, and then look at that space age interior.
It's sweet because it's not. That's a real car.
What a great looking thing.
It's not just a model.
Yeah.
It's a real car.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So there's the German one.
It's the new GT1 that launches next week. Switch quick, get away from that. No one can see that.
There's the Sally car that was fun, right?
I love Sally.
The kids.
They show her tramp stamp in the back.
I was just gonna ask.
Yes.
Everybody's got.
Yes. Justin has that too.
Same one.
I like this one. There was a line that was 45 minutes. For 45 minutes, you can wait in line to sit inside of a new 992.2 cab. Or
you could just come to Porsche Colorado Springs.
Or there's a white one that nobody even knows that's for sale. Here,
we'll give you a ride.
You can just sit in that.
Exactly. Yep. I'll still make you wait 45 minutes.
The race car from 2016 when
Yeah.
we beat Toyota. That car was there. That was kind of nice.
Was that the one that Romain Dumas was piloting, and then he was here the following week?
That one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The
Turbo
no,
50.
that was 2014. The one on, we're pointing at a
that one up
wall,
there.
but no.
Yeah.
So that the black and white one was from 2000.
Yep.
Yeah, when
Yep,
Romain.
Okay.
Yeah. The 50th anniversary turbo was there.
God, what a car.
So this is the car that sort of inspired that.
Yeah.
It's a 930 turbo.
It's in the wrong color, but it's very pretty.
Look at that.
Well, you can do adventure in green on the.
Yeah,
on the-
no, ice green metallic.
Oh, that's the color you like.
That's my color. Yeah.
It's nice. Everybody has an opinion. It's not the right one.
No, it is.
Can't do ice cream.
The opinions expressed by me are fucking correct.
So there's the GT Silver 50th anniversary with. So that was kind of nice. Anyways, now we've lost track.
I didn't lose track. I know what I'm talking about.
Oh man.
So you should go. I mean, that's kind of the end of the story. Look, there's me in the cafeteria.
Oh,
There
look
you
at
go.
that.
Look at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oliver Porsche hanging out in the background somewhere.
Did you have any of the Volkswagen currywurst?
Yes.
Were they great? It's a part number that we can order.
The food is so good.
Yeah.
In Germany.
No, I mean that the Porsche factory.
It's all a little weird. The currywurst. It's a hot dog,
Yeah.
but it's soft.
Yeah. Sure.
And
But
then
I-
we put. Yeah. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah,
Or-
but it has a Volkswagen part number.
Need some rocks
So
on.
technically, I think
Oh, you can order it.
I think Ricky could order the currywurst and the ketchup.
That's theoretical. Like he
Oh.
can also order stuff, and then they'll say can't deliver.
We're not doing that.
Well,
Yeah. You're.
But let's try it.
moving on.
We'll find Garrett if he's working tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go. That's
he
going to be a good
orders.
So
project
maybe
for
we
him.
should close with a video.
Yeah, there
Do a
you go.
video. You're gonna have to hold it up next to your microphone, I think.
Yep.
Oh, that's the slow mo.
That's not very slow.
Oh my god.
Which one were you in?
So one more time.
But do you see that? Like,
Oh my gosh. That's so awesome.
So in Leipzig, so it's a test track for the factory, right? So part of the track is reserved just for the cars that come out to get their demo rides, right? Make sure everything's. So this is something that we didn't know. When a new car comes from the factory, sometimes it'll have miles on it, 28, 38
Yeah.
miles.
Yep.
If a car shows up at the dealership with 38 miles, that's a car that's been tested on the track.
Nice.
So they pick for quality control, like it's every 10th car. I don't know what the number is. So, but now you know. If you get it, I mean, what a lucky car to get.
so we should print stickers to put on cars that say tested at the factory.
Yeah. Factory tested, right?
And then I'll go drive them all 38 miles.
So every GT3 RS, I don't know, they're testing them all.
Yeah,
so
they-
the 911s they actually test on public roads.
Yeah.
But the other cars that are in Leipzig, they're tested on the track there. So the track in Leipzig is made up of all these historic corners, like like
The carousel.
the Carousel
Yep.
or Laguna Seca or Monza or
Isn't there a red corner at Spa?
I think they have
Rouge.
one of this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rouge.
And,
Rouge.
and what's neat, you can't. They're all named too when
Yeah.
you're driving. I don't. I'm not paying attention because I'm trying to stay on
Driving.
track. But
Yep.
but so there are so many great corners. So that corner that you see is, I believe it's Monza, and then on the other side is a 3-story drop. And so
Wow.
when you get to take the taxi ride, they do that. We did 3 laps with the instructor as a passenger, and I mean it's so wild.
That video. When I went to Dirtfish, the videos I took, cars looked slow,
Right.
and I was hustling as much as I could. That looked effing quick.
Yeah.
It was.
And to be in the car as it just went, that's
Look,
a lot
you
of
see him hit dirt.
that's a lot of
Well,
that's a lot of great car control.
so I didn't take a video because I wanted the memory. I wanted to be in the moment instead of because a lot of guys do
100%.
that they want to have their video instead of the actual memory.
Yep. No, I want the memory.
But
I agree.
halfway through the third lap, he's kind of let the car cool down. And then I could breathe again. And I started giggling, and he started giggling. And I said, I got to ask you, there's no way that's the fastest way around the track. And he says, oh, no, we were sideways the whole time. I go, I know, we were sideways
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah.
He goes, but it's the most fun around the track.
Yeah.
So
That's a good way to end it. All right. So next week I'm gone. If Ted had enough fun, he might be back. Who knows? Maybe Michelle will join as our guest, and Ted can take my seat, and then I can retire from 2 positions this year. But for the First Dips podcast, Ted, thank you.
Yes.
It was a blast to
Thank
have
you
you
for
on. Michelle, thanks for hanging out. Justin, thanks for being my co-host as always. And I don't have a song to play, so I think that's all I got. What do you think?
right.
Anything else?
Works for me.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
have a great weekend.
I won't see you next week, but somebody will.
All right. Thanks for watching.